Alright, so hi everyone. Welcome to today's Christmas special baking demo. My name is Nestle, dietitian from Singapore Heart Foundation, and really happy to see all of you here today to join us for our Christmas baking special demo. Alright. Okay, so today we are very privileged and honored, to have Ms Delcie Lam here. Alright. Okay, she's actually known as the sensitive chef. Okay, and also the founder of Delcie Desserts and Cakes as well. Okay, so later we'll get to know a little bit more about her during the session. Okay, so Delcie's Cakes are actually the first certified diabetic-friendly cake in Singapore, and also she has been certified as a healthier baker as well. Okay, from HPB since 2011. Okay, so today she will be sharing with us, a Christmas avocado chocolate log cake. Sounds special, isn't it? Okay, and the next one as well is actually a mini gingerbread cookie. Okay, which is actually refined sugar free, oil free, as well as cholesterol friendly as well, which is good for our heart health. Okay, so now let's pass on to Delcie to actually share with us all these great recipes so that we can learn how to bake them for our loved ones and enjoy this Christmas season. Okay, Delcie, handing it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so as she has already introduced, I'm Chef Delcie. I'm from Delcie's Desserts and Cakes. For myself, I've been baking this way for the last almost 14 years now. So we started in year 2009 during the, I would say, the early quarter of the year, and in a very humble, tiny shop at Bishan. So that's how I started. And then because of my life situation, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, very unfortunately, for the second time, and that took her life. So the reason why I was in the cake making business was because personally I enjoy cakes a lot, and at that point of time when she was hospitalized towards the end of her life, she was celebrating her 50th birthday. So because she was on chemotherapy, there's a certain diet that she's on, and I was not able to find a cake for her. So because of that, I deeply regret, but also because of that, I'm very motivated to make sure that no one will be stuck in the situation like I did, so that we are able to create cakes and also bake cakes for people with all sorts of different diets. Yeah, so very happy here and very excited to be invited by Singapore Health, sorry, not Health Promotion Board, I was about to say that because I always promote for them, right? So yeah, Singapore Heart Foundation, to be invited here to showcase to you 2 heart healthy recipe. Healthy, this word very subjective now, right? Because I'm sure all the shops that you go to, they will try to sell you something healthy now, right? So it's like even superfood like avocado, superfood like your chia seed, your pomegranate, so long you eat them in a moderation level, according to your own serving guide size, then it will be healthy. Don't over consume something that is healthy, because that will become unhealthy eventually. So that's usually my own guide for my own healthy diet. Of course, live a healthier lifestyle, don't sit at home too long, go out for walks and all this, yes, and that will help you, prolong your life and also delay disease onset. So yeah, and because when they reach out to me, they have all sorts of guidelines, things that I cannot include in these recipes. Very, very strict. So cannot have sugar, cannot have this unhealthy oil, cannot have all this. But it's not unusual for me, because all my customers always have this kind of guidelines too. So we have a lot of customers with allergies. So allergies a lot more stricter, right? So sometimes you may a bit 弹价, right? Then you want to eat a bit, it's okay, right? But for these people with allergy, they cannot 弹价, because if they do that, they will have hive, they will have swollen throat, and it may cause to death. So for us, when they come to us with pages and pages of ingredients that they cannot eat, for me and my team, we have to diagnose what are the ingredients that we can use to replace the key cake making ingredients. So today, all my products here, all the recipe here, you don't see any eggs, you don't see any dairy products, no cheese, no milk, no butter, right? The only butter that I used is vegan, and it's actually made out of soy, right? So, and on top of that, we don't use any cane sugar, so you don't see brown sugar, white sugar, and all this kind of sugar. We don't use that. But we are using a very, I would say a very natural type of state of sugar that is very commonly used in the Mediterranean countries. Okay, so yeah, without further ado, the first recipe that I'm going into, yeah, you're welcome, into is our gingerbread cookie. Okay, so This contains wheat. We are using whole grain flour here that is grounded to superfine state. I don't want to use grainy flour. The reason is because when we are trying to cut out the cookie, right? Imagine the cookie so small, then you have all these grains on it, then it's very difficult to chop out the shape. So that's why it has to be super fine. If you do not use whole grain, if you are like on gluten-free diet, feel free to use any gluten-free flour mix. It's a one-to-one replacement. If you have other flour that you want to use, just make sure that it does contain gluten inside in order to avoid having cookies that are like very crumbly. So here, I'm going to introduce to you. So this is the whole grain superfine flour that I was telling you about. I think that in the market right now, only Prima is selling now. Yeah. So you can use that 90 grams in your recipe. We also have like cinnamon powder, nutmeg powder, ginger powder, as well as a little bit of salt. It's a bit transparent on this white plate. Salt, baking powder, baking soda. So these make up our dry ingredients. So what I have in my hands here would be the last item on your list, which is flaxseed. So this is grounded flaxseed. Don't use the one that is not grounded because that would be very difficult to incorporate into this recipe again. So it has to be grounded. Okay, you can find that at the baking store. Flaxseed, right? Milk. So, okay, so with that, I will need about 15 grams of water. So I already pre-prepared here. What I need to do is to activate this. Okay, and the reason why I'm using flaxseed is because it is an excellent egg replacer. It contains very high omega-3 and 6, which is very good for brain health. Okay, something that you do not find in eggs. Yeah.
Assuming I'm allergic to flaxseed, is there any replacement?
Yeah, you can use applesauce.
Applesauce.
Yeah, you can use applesauce to do it. Okay, so just give it a stir. So it's like a same weight ratio for applesauce. Of course, you want to use prune, you want to use date paste. That's also another alternative. Or if you want to use banana, but it has a banana taste, that's also another way. So that will all replace egg. So you see, so it's a very gluey texture. So very similar to egg. And this is what we mostly use to bind cakes and ingredients together when we don't use eggs. Yeah? How? 苹果醋它是有一点酸度的，所以 is apple cider vinegar. Lady was asking, is a bit acidic, so sour. So it will react differently in the recipe here. Because here I'm not using anything acidic here. 哦，中英文，我也是可以啦，中英文。So 这个是我们没有酸性的材料，所以我们就不采用这个苹果醋。Yeah, so 用普通白开水就好了。Okay, then this. Just lukewarm. Yeah. Actually, what I use here, right, is just normal water. Yeah, because my warm water will have cooled down already. Yeah, so it's fine. Okay, room temperature is okay. All right, so this is date sauce. All right, it's like made with dates. You can actually take dates, soak it in the water, and then extract the water. All right. Yeah, so you can do that, and you can blend the dates as well together with the water to get to this state. Madujo?
Not the red dates.
No, 不是红枣，对 not red dates. Normal black dates. You can get it at Mustafa, all the Indian Muslim shops. Yes. Dates, little water, and then blend. Yeah. Yes, then you extract, you take out all the fiber. All right, so that's what we're going to use here, as well as last but not least, my vegan butter that's made out of soy. So you can see the state is very similar to butter. So supposingly, what if you don't have this product, right? If you take dairy at home, of course, feel free to use normal butter lah. Okay, there's no restriction here, but it's up to your own individual diet. But in my case, in my bakery, we don't use normal butter. So we use vegan butter that is made out of soy. Yeah? You can get it at organic shops. Yeah, you can specify that you want to look for vegan butter. They usually would carry vegan butter. 不是红枣，它不是红枣，它是黑枣来的，黑色的，它是很像马来人他们在季节的时候会吃到的枣。拿来搅，就是用一点水搅了之后呢，那些有那些渣的东西就把它拿掉。A very good question. so far, I've not seen it yet. I've not seen it yet, yeah. Okay, so very simple this step. All we need to do is just mix all the dry ingredients into a big bowl, okay? Make sure we don't want to waste any ingredients, so just put everything together, okay? All right, and then, so we just stir it. Okay, so I need a spoon. Okay, just mix them together. So you can see my flour mix is very brown in color, okay? Okay, so make sure that this step is like very well mixed before we add any liquid inside. Okay, okay, so yeah, so I can add the flaxseed. Okay, you can add the date sauce. Then I'll just add the vegan butter or whatever fats that you're going to use.
Instead of
Sure.
butter, can you use olive oil?
Can, there will be an olive oil taste. Yeah, so sometimes when you use strong flavored oil, then that's where there will be a taste. If it's acceptable for you, then of course feel free to use it. Okay, so this is how I'll just mix them together. Okay. So very simple, right? You just putting all the dry ingredients, then mix with the wet ingredients, and that's all how we do all our vegan bakes. So we always separate our dry ingredients away from our wet ingredients, all right? And then just put them together. So that's what you get. A dough. Okay, very simple step. Okay, so this next part would be a very interesting technique that I always use for cookie making, because normally when it comes to cookie cutting, right, then most of those home bakers will say, wow, it's going to be very, very messy, right? And then because I have children at home and when I bake cookie with them, I also don't want them to mess up my kitchen or my dining tabletop. So I always use this method. I'll take a piece of paper, plastic like that, okay? I'll just put the dough inside, then I roll out the dough inside here. So I keep my table very clean, yeah? So I'm quite OCD one when I work in the shop. So I want all my chefs to follow my style so that our kitchen is always clean. Okay, so you just have to press out the cookie, use a roller if you have, and after that just roll out until the kind of thickness that you want. Then all you need to do is just remove the plastic, and that's where you can start cutting. Okay, so this is something that I highly recommend if you don't want a messy, floury kitchen. Okay, so see you get one flat piece of dough, very clean. You see my table, still clean. Okay, then all I need to do is just to cut it out. Okay, just cut out the plastic. Okay, then I'll just cut out the ends as well so that I can access it. Okay, correct. So I will use a little bit of flour here. Doesn't matter how much this is, it's just enough to flour your cookie cutter. So in this recipe, this is a gingerbread man, so I use a gingerbread cookie cutter, okay, and it's mini size. But if you want to use larger size, by all means, okay, don't, it means that you must purposely go and run out and buy this cookie cutter. So I just flour it and I press it out, okay, so I get it like right here. Okay, so you see, I got one. So you see, I think we didn't spend more than 15 minutes from the first step until here. Very quickly, I already got. So I'll just use, okay, so if you don't have this particular tool, which I usually use for decoration purposes, use your toothpick. Okay, so use your toothpick, your satay stick, also can. Then go and like poke some holes, make some smiley face, right? Okay. And then do a little bit of like buttons here, a little bit of sleeve. This stick, this is what we use for fondant mostly.
Sorry?
Fondant. We use it for fondant art, for crafting. Yeah.
Where can you get it from?
Phu Huat, yeah, Phu Huat got sell. You can use knife to, of course, use the back to do the hand sleeve, the lines. You can also, you don't have to go and buy anything at all actually. Then some toothpick to do the eyes and all. Huh? Okay?
Only buy the cutter.
This, yeah, only this one. Yeah.
Also from Phu Huat, is it?
Yes. Okay. So, for gingerbread cookies, any other questions that you all may have? No? Okay, so I think the recipe is very... Oh, yes, hi?
Can you use normal butter?
Yeah, definitely. Like your normal dairy butter, you can use it based on your own dietary preference.
Dry ingredients, are they compulsory? But all the...
Definitely compulsory, yes, yes. Just try not to change any... don't reduce your flour, don't go and increase your flour, don't go and, okay, all this don't touch it because every recipe is engineered to work in the oven. Yeah.
Sorry, just now you were saying
Sorry.
applesauce as a replacement.
Yes, so it's a one-to-one replacement of your flaxseed.
Yeah, what others that I can use?
Banana, your date puree, or your prunes puree. So all these are very good replacement. Yeah, sorry, ma'am.
About the date syrup, 40 grams. So we are using the 40 grams of the date to make the syrup.
No, 40 grams of the syrup, not the dates. You might need to use more dates to get the syrup. You may need to use more dates to get the syrup. I would say about 10 pieces because it's the one date quite big one. It's not like so small. Okay, anyway, this is done already. Let me just wait for the other one. Okay, better put it here. Okay, another 1 more minute for the other one to come out. Then I can 放心的 move on to the next recipe. Yes. It's sweet, it's sweet. It's naturally sweet. So in this recipe, I also use dates. Okay, anyway, just to show you, that's how dates looks like lah, huh? So you see, like very, very nice, mushy. Imagine you want to make until that state. It's very easy, huh? Okay.
Dates, you have to remove the skin, right?
We have to remove the seed.
So the outer skin is a bit rough.
Yeah, but once you blend it, it's fine. Yeah. Okay, so we are done here. I don't have to worry there's anything in the oven.
The color is very different.
The what?
Color.
Oh, because the oven different. In my oven, in my shop, I use deck oven, so it's a little bit darker. Now you see, like this oven because this oven got dark spot, right? Got heat spot. So heat spot means you see in front is darker. Once it cool down, it will become slightly darker as well. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so very nice to do with children, younger children. They will enjoy this very much. Okay, so the next recipe. This recipe is like a almost non-baked recipe because the only thing that we need to bake would be the nuts. So I will need to pre-bake the nuts because the nuts that I bought was raw. So you need to bake them first in the oven for about, I would say 175 degrees for about 10 minutes will do. Okay, so until it's like very fragrant, very nice. So once we have that, 85 grams of almond, 85 grams of walnut, and then we also get 85 grams of dates. So you just have to take out the seeds in the center, and then you will just use it as it is. Okay, so this step, very easy. So I'll introduce the other ingredient at the same time. So we will need some dark chocolates, all right? So this is kombucha, so there's cocoa butter inside. This is the date sauce that I was using earlier on again. And then, of course, we have cocoa powder, okay? Most important ingredient, which is my avocado, which I already pitted, but I still bring one to show you exactly what avocado is. Okay? But this will be the size that I use, about 4 pieces to get estimated about 600 grams of flesh. Okay, so this is the size I got, 4 of them.
How do you spell this right?
Okay, if you were to ask me like right now, I don't think this is very cooked, although the uncle promised me by Friday it should be done. But then it's not, it's supposed to be black. Externally, it's supposed to be black, sorry. Yes, but not too soft and mushy. Still supposed to take, like when you hold it, right? Of course, don't go and press every single fruit outside at the fruit shop. Uncle will not be very happy. So you just see the surface is dark in color. When you press it, it's firm, and that's ready to use.
Sometimes when you open inside, it's a little bit black.
It's fine. A little bit black is fine, but it's not supposed to be rotten. It's not supposed. The skin and the flesh are still supposed to be intact. They cannot be separated. The moment it's separated means they are not fresh. So that's the difference. So as you can see, like mine here, right? Actually, it's really oxidized. So oxidized means because after I remove, she'll become brown, right? So, but I store this in the freezer in advance. So I actually took out everything. I put it in the freezer. Yep. So that's what it is. So this is the main highlight. I use a little bit of orange. This later I will cut and then I will squeeze the juice out. Then I will also use the skin as a zest. All right, just to give this recipe a little festive taste. Okay, very simple again. So for here, the kombucha, I have to melt it. So this is not the same as your chocolate chips. Because chocolate chips don't have cocoa butter, so this one has cocoa butter. So when we melt it, right, this is actually considered premium chocolate. It's a bit more expensive. So let me melt it in the microwave for about 20 seconds first. I heat up, then I'll stir it to melt it. I'll show you how.
What kind of chocolate do you use? The same as when we make brownie?
Yes, correct. As we make brownie, the same type of chocolate. Okay, so that's 20 seconds. Okay. All right, when we deal with chocolate, we just have to make sure all our utensils are very dry. We don't want water to seize the chocolate. So that's why when you were to, melt chocolate over hot water, right? If water accidentally get into your chocolate, then you see how come my chocolate don't melt properly. That's because the water already went inside. Okay. Here I put 74. Okay. So 20 seconds is not supposed to melt your chocolate completely, yeah? Okay, so don't be overly ambitious and try to put like 1 minute and then try to melt your chocolate because you will actually burn your chocolate in the end. Okay, so 20 seconds, stir it a little bit, and then put in for another 20, 20, 20. So we work up this way until we fully melt this chocolate. Okay. So as it's melting, I will just put items into my blender here. Okay, make sure it's a high-powered blender. Okay, let me see. All right. Okay. See, so it's getting a bit more melty now. Sorry, I go in front. Okay. See? So now I'm on 40 seconds total. Okay, so same thing, return it back to the microwave again for another 20. Okay, so this way you won't hurt the chocolate. Okay, so here, very simple, in the blender, high speed. Okay, make sure I stabilize it first. Okay, I'll pour all the nuts inside that is already baked. Then I pour the dates inside. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So you see, my chocolate should be at the almost fully melted condition. Can see? Okay, without burning the chocolate. Okay, supposed to. All right. Then it's supposed to be shiny on top lah. Okay. Then if the surface of the chocolate is dull, it means you probably would have burnt it already, right? It's not supposed to be flowy like that. Okay, so this is good. All right, so I have all the dry ingredients, the nuts, the dates inside this blender, and all I need to do is to blend it. So this particular set of recipe is meant for the crust. You can use this to replace your cheesecake crust. Right, cheesecake crust usually asks for digestive biscuit and then some fats and all this sugar and things like that. So you don't need that. You can actually use this a very natural way to create a crust. Okay. Okay, on. Let's go. Okay, let me see. Let's see where is my dates first. Okay. Okay, good. So they're coming together. So the dates are already blended already, you know. So that's done. I will need to use this. Okay. So earlier on, I have a little small tray here. So that's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to lay this entire. Okay. So you see. Okay. Can you smell the nuts? It smells really good. So that's the difference when you roast your own nuts. You get the smell out more prominently. So let's say you go and buy like camel roasted nuts, then you don't get this smell. You need to toast it a little bit so that it's warm. Okay, so just some additional notes on top of this recipe. You can actually make peanut butter out of this. Peanut? No, don't add peanut butter. You can make like peanut butter paste out of this, like almond walnut. So how to do it? Okay, same thing, right? Like just now, I only like blend it for like 30 seconds. You at home, if you want to make into that buttery paste, you need to blend it for at least 2 to 3 minutes. You need this to be really warm. You warm your nuts, Then you continue blending, you will all become very liquidy. So that's how you make peanut butter lah. In this case, almond butter, almond walnut butter. I'm not
Have to be freshly roasted.
roasted. It has to be roasted. It has to be warm. The whole entire recipe has to be warm to get to that state. Yeah. Okay. That. 是我这个食谱就没有很碎。我这个食谱没有很碎，所以我只是大概30分钟的时间。So this is supposed to be a crust, huh?
Excuse me. You say that you're using that to make the soda pink sauce. After doing it, you have to put in the tray.
Yeah, like that one have to put because there's no preservative here, right? Yeah, so you definitely have to put it inside. I think no lah, 2-3 days too short. About 2 weeks is okay. So long there's no water content inside lah. Oh. Okay. So I'm supposed to like spread it like a crust, right? So here, for the benefit of everybody, because I would have to freeze this up, I have already pre-freeze one. Oh, I will need that again. Okay, sorry, is it I'm blocking the video? Okay. Okay, so this is my crust. Okay, later I'll show you exactly why I do it this way and then how I actually assemble into my log cake. So because I'll be using a mold that looks like this. Feel free to buy other type of mold, but because I needed a log cake, so I bought a log cake mold. It's just a plastic mold whereby I will fill up the avocado puree inside here and then I'll put the crust on top. So when I flip it out, it will be a crust-based avocado cake. Okay, so that's the whole reason why. So later, I'll put this into I'll go behind the screen, everybody, so you will not see me for a while. So I show you exactly what happens after I put the crust together. Okay, so this is the kind of like shape because I wanted to match my log cake, right? So I have to cut it out to a shape that I needed. So it will be somewhat like that. Okay, so I'll put it aside first. Okay, so this one will take a little bit more time and require you to have a lot of patience because it has to be kept in the freezer and then it needs time. So in the meantime, you got nothing to do, then watch a Korean drama or something like that. All right, okay, so the next part would be, you can still use back the same blender. Okay, let me try and scoop out everything again. Okay. All right. So I put it back. Let's see how to do it. Okay, maybe somebody might help me with this. How do I put it back? Oh, 没有要像我 okay. Oh, sorry, cannot. I still cannot. Okay. 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 So here, attach the food processor already. Then the next thing to do would be your avocado, right? So let me show you exactly. This is a little bit hard, but I will still show you how I actually, take the flesh out from this avocado lah. Okay. So all you need to do is just be careful of your fingers. Okay. So I just need to cut around the seed. Okay. Then I actually have to twist it open. So because it's not ripe yet, so that's why it's a bit hard. If it's ripe, you're supposed to like twist it and then it will just come, it will pop right out, okay? So I can still feel that the flesh is very raw. Yeah, cannot. See, I can't. Okay, forget it. But anyway, this is a boomer. Okay, so supposed to just cut it half, twist it open, and then the seed, right? I'll just use my knife and just like gop, and then I twist it out, and then it will just come out already. Yeah, so that's how easy it is. So here is all my avocado, my 4 pieces of avocado. So everything goes inside. Okay. Goes inside, right? So my red sauce also goes inside. I mean, just for everybody's information, because this is very saucy, right? Another replacement that you can consider would be honey. So yes, you know, some things you try to get it to this kind of consistency. We also use other sauce. We use other sweetener like agave syrup and things like this. Yes. Then again, you know, all these are also considered alternative sugar. They are still sugar, so have to also take it like in moderation, huh? Yeah. Okay, I'll add this last. So I want this nice and warm. Okay. So this is cocoa powder. Okay, and then of course I'm going to process this, right? So same thing as there, about half. Okay. So let me. So I need about 20 grams of this juice. Okay, so it's only 20 grams. Oh, you. Okay. So I'm just going to just zest this. Okay, so it's just a shredder. Okay, so you can smell the orange zest. Don't go too deep until you see white color because that's not what I want. That will be very, very bitter. I just need the fragrance of it only. That's all. Okay. Always it. Okay, so yep, that's all. And then finally, my chocolate sauce, all inside. This is a 1-in-all recipe. Okay. All right. Okay. Cover. Yes. Okay, then let's go. Stir it a bit to get it going. Oh, where's my script? Okay, push it down. There's a way I could use this. If I were to use it, do this at home, I would have used like a juicer blender, whereby there's a stick in the middle, right? So I will be able to push the items inside without having to open this and stop this. Okay. Okay. So 你看那个 avocado, right, is already very, it's like very pasty. So you want to get it a bit more smoother. Okay, continue. Sorry, this one I might have to go a bit back and forth, okay? Okay. Okay. Okay, so the purpose of the chocolate, right, just now earlier on I added the melted chocolate, right, is to actually stabilize the recipe. So what I meant by that is, so that when I put it in the freezer or in a cold place, the thing will solidify and it will not break into a paste. Alright, so I'm just going to go back and forth again on this. Okay.
Besides avocado chocolate, right? What other combination with your brownie?
You can do, for me I thought of chocolate because avocado pairs very well with chocolate. And also I also consider the fact that I need a stabilizer without using coconut.
So chocolate is the only stabilizer.
Yes, correct. Of course, if you want to use cocoa butter, which is just pure cocoa butter, that's also another stabilizer without using the cocoa chocolate part. Then you can add in other flavorings like your yuzu or things like this, because I think that avocado goes very well with very tangy flavors. Okay, so I wanted to get this to like an even smoother state, but it seems like everything is already well blended. It's just that I couldn't get to that state because the blender is maybe a bit wider than the one that I usually use. So I don't want to waste too much time on trying to do this, but I want to show you exactly when you get to a smooth state, then what do you do next, okay? So I'm just going to give it a last blend because I already bring samples. Okay. Okay, so it's my last blend, and then I'm going to use the mold here, and very simple. All you need to do is just pour the paste mixture inside. Okay. So So all you need to do is just pour it inside here. So it's supposed to be a lot more smoother. Sorry that I couldn't get to that consistency. What happened was that I'm supposed to bring my own blender, but somewhat I kind of left that behind. So I don't have time to go back. That's why I have to use makeshift whatever that we have here. That a machine that I'm not so familiar with. Okay. Sorry?
No, I want to see how is the thickness.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for now, this is considered not very smooth. It's supposed to go even smoother. Yes, correct. You know, like your avocado drink, when you buy it from the fruit shop, it's supposed to be very smooth like that. Okay. So let's say, supposingly, I say, oh, I don't have this log cake mold. What do I do? Any mold will do. Even if you want to serve it in a nice, like a champagne glass, put a little crust at the bottom of the glass and then pour this over on top. It will serve as a very nice guest dessert for your family, or if you're having a function for this Christmas. So that's also another way. So you don't have to be restricted by, I don't have this mold, so I can't make this cake. Doesn't have to be that way. Okay, so it's just an example to show you what we can do here. Cup desserts will be like the very simplified way to do it at home without having to buy a mold. If you have silicone mold, yeah, that also will work. Okay, so all you need to do is just spread them out. Okay. Okay, so if you are using a mold, just make sure that you heat it right to the bottom, so you will fill up all the bubbles. You will heat up all the bubbles that's on the surface. Okay, and then we'll just keep this in the freezer. So how long? Overnight. Okay, so yeah, that's done. So I've already, of course we're not going to wait here overnight. I have definitely prepared something in advance. So let me keep this in the freezer. Okay, so ta-da. So I prepared a lot extra so that all of us can try it out later. Yes. Overnight. Overnight means like at least 10 hours to solidify, because our freezer at home is not as strong compared to commercial freezer, so we might need to leave them longer. Yeah. So of course once it hardens, it's supposed to be like that, you know, so it's very easy to demold. So what I wanted to do here was to actually to add the crust. So example, something like this. So I show you exactly how I add my crust, right? It's just pressing it into the, okay, maybe I make it a bit cleaner, show all of you. Okay.
The crust place is supposed to be freezer, right?
Freezer.
Yeah, or it's supposed to take out together with the avocado.
One more time. Your question?
You took out this one earlier from the freezer.
Yes, I took out earlier so that it's a bit softer, that I can actually use it inside here. Yes. Okay.
The one that has to be longer in the overnight in the fridge is the
It's the mold. The one in the mold. Yeah. So supposingly you are not using a mold and you want to do a cup dessert, you don't need to keep it for so long because you don't need to unmold it. The reason why we need to keep it overnight is because we need to unmold it so that it's solid hard for us to do that, right? Okay, so it's solid hard for us to do that. Then, this way I'm going.
It still need to be up to a certain hour.
Yes, correct. So this is like a chilled dessert or a frozen dessert. So in this case, it's like a frozen dessert. So, yeah. So it's very simple. You can sprinkle some cocoa powder on top if you want, you know, to decorate it up with some like Christmas decor. And that's how it's supposed to be like. Very simple, dessert make easy. Yeah. Now. Okay, let me see if I can get a plate to cut. Okay, now. Okay, so I'll just move it over, then we can start to cut out and then try this recipe out. Okay. Yep. So, very simple, but takes a bit longer time to wait in the freezer. Okay, so this is your avocado log cake. And that's the end. So you see, that I will just, so this one what I do in a different way is that I put all of it inside. I fill it up. So that's a different way to do it, okay? So this one is I assemble it at the end. So this one is I assemble it first. So similarly, I just have to demo it the same way, exactly the same way. Okay? Let me take another attachment paper. Okay, so that's one first. Because this one, right, what I did was that I was adding some chocolate on it, so it stick a little bit more. So this one probably don't have. Let's see. So I mold everything and just cut it out. So there we go. Okay, so we got 3 log cakes here. I think should be good enough for everybody to try. So here we are at the end of our recipe. So a gingerbread cookie and also an avocado log cake. So back to Natalie.
Okay, let's thank Delcie today, okay, to join us
you.
today for this session. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.